Hey, welcome to my show again. Sorry I don't have any great, amazing music in the background, so maybe I can put that into the next video. So I thought I'd do a video on kind of things I do when I am researching, because I'm always looking for anomalies, like time. Time seems to always be an issue, and I don't mean time as the way that you go from 0 to 60 or whatever like that. It's more the case of time zones. Are there 24 time zones? So if it's shorter, then are we measuring our time in 24 when it should be something like 22.22 recurring? Or there's so many variables. Anyway, moving on. Exciting. We've got QF in the blue. We've got QF 27. Just gonna double check I am recording. Cool. So you've got QF 27 and you've got QF 28. Normally flights would be consecutive, one number different. So like I said, you've got 28 and 27 here, and then other flight numbers you might have a ETH 507 in blue there, and then its return journey would be ETH 506. There we go, there in blue. DST, really interesting. Some flights go one way at 10 hours and come the other way at 9 hours. Yeah, so DST there, but also consider DST and also looking at how many time zones things go through and do some calculations. So I'm going to go on the tutorial of this. Simple, we go to flightaware.com. So I'll remember that's going to be QFA 27. Simple, go Google, type flightaware.com, and you'll get to a homepage. Should look like that. Might look like this. Cool. So still the top of the screen, the option is still the same. You can do by 2 destinations, so you can origin, and I can normally say something like London, and then change. Don't select anything, because no, you can select what you want, but normally international flights. It's more like this will help give a better scope. Maybe Australia. I doubt there'll be a flight for that. So yeah, nothing there. Anyway, just trying to give you a demo first of all, so you can kind of, goddamn spell check. LAX is international. Let's try that one. Okay, sometimes the combinations don't work. Okay, JFK. I've already got this, and I just press search instead of pressing something, and then we've got some results. So you've got scheduled flights. You see on the top left of each entry, you see scheduled, and then you got green on the way, and you want to be looking for things like arrived. So I'd already put this in. So what was I? QFA 27. So I want to keep an order so I'm not losing the info I'm trying to show you. QFA 27. Cool. Yep, there we go. So I think people haven't looked into this a lot, but I've looked into a lot of stuff that people aren't looking into. I've always been that person that wants to do something a different way and see if it works. And this is my journey. I'm not trying to. I've lost the ego, and I'm now trying to help. And people that want to watch my stuff and listen to what I have to say, enjoy my journey. It's not personal, just doing a slideshow and putting music to it and stuff like that. I know it can be powerful. I know it can be wow, amazing music, amazing effects, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, if I can give people the tools, then they can see for themselves, and then come back to me. But if I'm the first to do these sort of things, then I want credit for that. Cool. So first page, landed over a year ago, blah, blah, blah. I have been, I think with the, no, I don't think, that's just a saying that I use, over the COVID, year of lockdown, blah, blah, blah. I did find flights at like 25 years old, and it was trying to prove are there any flights to go from Johannesburg to Sao Paulo without a stop anywhere. Because if you can do a straight route, then you can verify 3 places and verify the shape and spaces those lands are from each other. Anyway, Qantas 27, Sydney to Santiago, the famous Sydney to Santiago. Anyone watching this that thinks that I have no idea or have a partial idea about all the models, then no, I have a full understanding of all concepts that people have been talking about. The stereotypical stuff, and then also niche stuff, and this, that, and the other. So I fully know what I'm doing, and I find this might be the way that I can actually get through to people, because I'm putting more personal touch into it. I'm sounding better because I'm outside the house and I'm doing this over my phone. So if this works, I want some thumbs up, man, just to say that I'm getting more consistent and more clear in what I'm trying to demonstrate. Without pushing an agenda, it's just things and tools. Right, enough of the gabble. Sydney to Australia, the famous Sydney to Santiago. 12 hours 6 minutes, if you see there, 12 hours 6 minutes. Now, interesting, no, that's the time that it was meant to lead to the time, blah, 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 blah. It's not the flight time, okay? Sometimes they're very close, but yeah. Anyway, so we've got Sydney to Australia, and this is what it looks like on a Mercator map. Which that there is just a load of rubbish, because the Mercator map is inflated. It's inflated. It's not distorted. It's inflated. So you can distort this an image. You can distort, but if you change the area, then you're inflating, and naturally that will cause the distortion. So thinking that Mercator map and this APK angel that thinks that the Mercator map is real, and he puts a bullseye around the center and goes, "Oh, that's Earth," the whole moon, Earth, flat Earth. There might be an imprint on the moon where it's nah. It would only happen something like that possibly if it done imprint and it was inside. It was our monocenter, for example. If it was our monocenter, and yes, we were rotating around, we were revolving around like a barrel. If we were moving, that would solve a lot of arguments, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm moving on. Anyway, so that's the shape there. View track log. This is why we need to do past flights, because then it's going to tell you the track log. Now this is Sydney to Santiago. We've got flight time of, let's go back a page, make sure get the information right. 12 hours and 6 minutes. 12 hours and 6 minutes. Cool, man. I can have some music on in the background. Oh, maybe I'll just turn the radio on. That might be cool. Imagine that. Oh, sorry. Try and get some classical.
At least one.
An unpaid
Apologies.
Incredible, isn't it?
Right. This is more like it. Bit of power behind it. And this is how we're going to do it now. So we got a departure time of 2:02 a.m. AM is good because there's no changeover or losses of hours. So 2:02 a.m. Just going to give you a measure. 2:02 a.m. Might be too loud. 2:02 a.m. 2:02. 2:02 p.m. So it's 4 minutes short of the 12 minutes 6. So 12 hours 6 minutes. So 11 hours 52 minutes short. 11 hours 58 minutes. 6 minutes. That's a pretty good close time. Cool. So we start off the journey. If you want to demonstrate this and plot this on your flat earth maps and stuff like that, because you so believe it, then you'll start to see the voids where you start off at 2:02 a.m. and you jump forward. Now blues are good and greys are black. This is actually, I'm talking about this right in here. Blues are good when it's active. The rest is estimated. So 2:02 a.m. and we're going to go forward, and I'm keeping note of the colors as well. Notice on the right hand side you've got altitude, that's meters. You've got knots, which I sometimes, anyway, you've got knots, and you've got an assumed direction, because obviously a magnetic pull of some sort is going to make you think that you're going southeast, but actually you're still going east. You know, if you're going to near a pole, then there will be an attraction, which I believe I plotted on my homemade flat earth maps. I plotted the inclination world map. I just took all the grid points and then put all those grid points on a flat earth map, and they're all pointed towards the south. All the flows, all the lines flow to the south. So 1 hour later, but not even 1 hour later, 2:02, 37 minutes later, bam, it's left Australia and it's out of range. So we've got it estimated. You've got latitude and longitude. The knots as well. See, the speeds disappeared, and it doesn't know what the altitude is. So we've got a gap in data from 2:39 and not 2:42. So 2:39, flight aware picks it up, or whatever it's using, 4:05. Okay, so you've got 2:39 and then you've got 4:05. So we're going to move on from 4:05. You'll see with the gathered data. Anyway, it's a safe bet. It's a safe bet because in New Zealand, so you still got the locality. So, but we didn't have the altitude, so got no record there. It could sense its speed, but it couldn't work out its altitude. So how does that work? Is that because when you aim something up in the sky, it's got nothing to rebound back off, so it hasn't got a second factor or parameter. Whereas speed can be calculated possibly by a movement on a radar, and speed versus time. So your knots have gone up to about 5:05, 4:35. New Zealand, now we've got approximations. See how you've lost the altitude there, knew what the speed was, and then goes out of range. So we're at 170 east, going towards the international date line, which most people think is it's that little slither between Asia and America. It's not. Go look at the top of your globe that you've got at home. You see it's not. It's just to the west. It's 10 degrees to the west of the line that you think it is. Is it 10 degrees? 36. Yeah. So now we've lost altitude and lost the speed, and we're moving on. So the last live thing we had, because funny how New Zealand picked it up there. Then we've got 4:05 was the last live. 4:35 was the last live thing, but then it picks up again at New Zealand. So are there 2 points? So the last live thing that we had was 4:35. So from 4:35 a.m. we left at 2 a.m. 4:35 a.m. 4:35 a.m. 4:35 a.m. 4:35. 8 hours. No register of anything. Picks up somewhere. It's called the details. Then goes to estimated for 41 for 9 minutes. Nothing. Get all the information again. But if you plot hourly points, it's what you should do on a flat Earth map. Draw out the coordinate lines. 36 segments, 10 degrees, and then you can move at whatever factors you want. But starting at 202 and then seeing what your latitude and longitude is, you get gaps when you've been moving longitude. So 151 degrees, so 202, so 151, 202, 302, 151, 157. So that's an 8 degree move. But yes, you have to consider it's going further south as well. 302, 402, got 164. 173, so we already jumped into 9 degrees difference. Yes, it's going south as well. It's assumed it's going south. Yes, it's following a direction, but in the case of where I say that magnetic South Pole, which is just south of Ross Island, or no, north of Ross Island, whatever, north of Ross Island, south of Tasmania, that's your magnetic South Pole, which I don't think moves. But that's, thinking, believing, proving many different things. So 502, 602, 173, 705. It's already jumped 7. Right, so that's 170. At 602 was minus 173.90 and 56. 702. Oh, I've lost my train of thought there now. 602. 173.90. Yeah, it goes from positive because we were going east. I forgot, going east. And then we're going east, and then we go from the positive numbers there. So we've crossed the international date line of 535. 602, 173, 702, similar latitude, jumps to 157, so it's already 20 jump. So yeah, when you start plotting these, then every now and again on this journey, this estimated journey, you'll be jumping 2 hours of journey instead of 1, and then you need to take that slither out. The Mercator map can't exist with the lands that you see if you took the cracks out, like I've shown you on my other video, about 2 before this. Right, so see, it's 902, 124. That's jumped like 30 degrees, and this is moving in an easterly direction. So there is big jumps in places, but this is all estimated. And then naturally, so we jumped 8 hours from 4:35 to 12:38. Jumped 8 hours, and then we got no information. We've only got an estimation based on the GPS map, which is the OT. There's a word for it. ISO. It's the ISO map of the world. It shows you, oh, there it goes, the worldwide reference system. Curved. I think the curved might have something to do with something. Can't quite put my finger on it yet. But the curvature there, if that's the, if I reckon that's got something to do with what the actual fucking the reference system is. And then we try to put straight lines going straight north when it should look like this, and then this basically combined with the grid system that we use at the moment, this is more logical of a map, because you know Antarctica has a bit more. Anyway, forget Antarctica. No, straight lines up and down, and straight lines, yeah, up and down. So you have a proper square gridland system, and even with this curving system, yeah, there's too much there because yes, it's distortion, blah blah blah. Anyway, GPS follows this and navigation follows this. So if the distortion is there, the problem is the ratio that you're increasing the spaces by, because there you can see the last red line is just by Spain. Then all of a sudden it jumps 3 spaces instead of 2, or does it 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, jumps 3 spaces. The next one will probably jump 4, and so forth and so forth. So yeah, if you've got the right lines, then you can make the right side. But area is area. Area is area. If you're plotting, if you're following a flight that's in the major north or the major south, then are there going to be just jumping big jumps? You know, how is this map usable if you have to adjust the speeds of the movements towards the poles? Yes, that's probably more usable than the Mercator map. So the grid, the GPS celestial system or whatever, accounts for more area than there is must do, because it's, how can anybody test, oh, we have anomalies at the poles? Well, if you've got a map, there shouldn't be anomalies. End of. Oh, is it just magnetics? But people don't go up there enough just to do enough research on it. Anyway, so we went from 1238, 1250, pick up again, so we've got 1250, and then reduce the speed, and we've got 158. So what does this mean? What does this mean? There are gaps. This is okay, so this is not my example, but this was just about giving people a tuition of how they can track past flights, and just to see where they can discover any anomalies. So I've been concentrating on Japan. That's my I've got flight logs, the QFA 63, that was a South Africa Sydney flight. That was funny, but yeah, you have to look into these things, make your own map grid system. I would just do, yeah, time zones. Break into just straight time zones. Don't do the wobbly. Just keep it nice and simple. Just imagine it was before the day of politics. You kept nice and simple. You got your grid of 24 across 24 time zones, you know, and each time zone is going to be such and such. Or you can break that down into 36, so it'll be 360 degrees. You know, like this picture here, for example, something like just a grid system. It'll be you need to make it a time zone map, and then kind of figure out what's going on. I try to demonstrate how other people, in my other video, how other people can make a map work. Just keep the area the same as Earth, and then you'll see what adjustments have to be made. But I'm on that. It takes work. Anyway, I advise any crazy, not crazy flat earther, but any flat earther to have a go at making their own maps, and for themselves, see for themselves if their model works. It doesn't have to be a round map, but just think how you could compare to what we use at the moment. Okay, so Japan, Yokan, Japan. This is San Francisco to Tokyo, and also gives you a pattern of the altitude and stuff like that, just looking at this picture here, you know, going over different times. Okay, now Japan to San Francisco are similar latitudes, and I think they're, so if you've got a longitude there of 140, it's 98 degrees apart. Now if we are 98 degrees apart, we should be I think this music's so my thinking. Okay, Japan flight, so you've got 10:34. Give you the details. 9 hours 30 minutes. Also gives you, on these things as well, also gives you the distance, the actual the planned, and you'll find on some flights that's they can, I think one was like 500 miles apart. So yeah, the Japan flight, back there again. Yeah, go to the view track log. That's the pattern they used. It doesn't go north like this shows. I hope maybe it just confirmed that. I might have that wrong, but latitude 35, 36, 41, 42, 43, 46, 47, 43. So time wise it loops up a little bit and then loops down. Okay, it might have been I think it might have been the America. Let's just double check so while I'm on stuff. I hope this is the one. JFK London Heathrow. You can see that there. JFK London Heathrow. Past flights. Oh god, guy's talking. Yeah, so 12:46 starts off at 40. Goes up 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Oh. Okay, well, I admit defeat. I saw it somewhere. Yeah, so going back to the JAL 58. So this goes through 10. This goes through 10 100 degrees, and